Your reasons for listening to the show, well, those are your own. But just keep in mind that the views, information, or opinions expressed on the Tuddle Daily Podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of our sponsors. Yeah, it's called free speech, people. Nobody's forcing you to listen.
Get ready for your daily dose of Tuddle.
The all-time greatest intern/producer we've ever had, of course, Tuddle. Tuddle in Florida.
From the Hobo Fish Camp, it's the Tuddle Daily Podcast.
No wonder nobody likes you, Tuddle. Everything's a goddamn debate.
Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving weekend. I know it kind of sucks. It always sucks to go back to work after a long holiday weekend on a Monday. I just drove back from Tampa, and I got to tell you, the traffic was absolutely horrendous. Oh, my God. I was supposed to come home on Sunday, and that didn't end up happening because when I woke up in the morning on I-4 is already one of the most dangerous roads in the whole United States of America. I ended up watching the news because I went over and hung out with Colton all weekend. Colton, you know him formerly from the Bubba the Love Sponge show. Hung out with him and his parents, and I was watching the news. I-4 is shut down in Lakeland because some guy, I guess, thought it would be a great idea to park in a construction zone in the median, you know, right in between some of those, like, temporary concrete barriers that they put up. They still haven't come out why he was there. But I guess on the traffic cameras, it looked very, very suspicious. And two highway patrolmen, or even, I think it might have been the Lakeland police, they ended up going up, knocking on the window. And I don't know if the guy freaked out or he was startled. He grabbed this gun and shot a couple out the window. And the two highway patrolmen absolutely, like, Swiss cheese him. Like, lit him up. Now, when something like that happens, you're like, oh, well, why is it going to back up? No, they got to do a complete investigation. I think the defense, the organization that, investigates law enforcement when a shooting happens to see if it is a clean shoot or the officer is messed up or whatever. So they pretty much had I-4 closed for most of the day. Plus, the Sunday after Thanksgiving is one of the busiest, most dangerous days to be out on the road. So I didn't come home Sunday. Ended up coming home today. And like I said, I still sat in a bunch of traffic. It was really, really cool. Me and Colton had a great time this weekend. He took me to this great place called Florida Cracker. That is in Brooksville, Florida. He goes with his buddy Wendell riding the bikes all the time, but it was too cold this weekend, obviously. And I know a lot of you people up north are probably like, oh, yeah, cold in Florida, Tuddle. Yeah, it's cold for us, especially if you're on a Harley-Davidson riding about 30 miles up to Brooksville. So I had to check this place out, Florida Cracker. You know, I even call myself a Florida Cracker. And I got to tell you, for it being in Brooksville, this is one hell of an entertainment venue. They got the restaurant. They got a tap room / any type of alcohol you want. They got a big stage out back where people can perform. They got a big gift shop. I mean, whoever owns that has done an amazing job. And it almost seems like the guys from American Pickers, Mike and Frank, decorated the whole thing. They had all the roached out signs and stuff, old rusted out cars and bikes. And I love their logo. The logo for Florida Cracker is an upside down boot. And there's like a star where like Lake Okeechobee would be. And it was really, really good. I ended up having the shrimp and grits. I probably should have ordered something different because when they brought it, it was completely something different than what I thought it was going to be. Because when you get shrimp and grits, you think you're going to get shrimp and grits. But what they ended up doing is taking the grits and like forming them into like a piece of toast, and they cut it into triangles. And when they first brought it, I was like, okay, I ordered shrimp and grits. I see the shrimp, but no grits. And then the waitress had to come over and tell me, oh, well, we formed the grits into like a bread type, and then they fry it and put it up. No. It was still good. It just wasn't what I expected. Plenty of great new content up on my YouTube channel. I have the interview that I did with Goddess Vivian Lee and her slave Pumpkin. I know that I played the audio, and the video was supposed to go to her, but she said that I could go ahead and post it to my YouTube channel, which I did. That is available there. Colton, a.k.a. Bottom Boy. I eat some of his dog food, because they got a little chihuahua that doesn't eat all of it, and I ended up doing that. So go to youtube.com/Tuddle. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell button, because when you hit that bell button, you're going to get alerted to any time I go live or upload any brand new content. Something else that I did this weekend, you guys all know that I am a huge supporter of the University of Florida Gators. It was rivalry weekend this past weekend, and I've watched Gator games. I remember when me and my dad, before we had satellite TV, or, they didn't have the college ticket where you could see all the games, we used to have to go to the Gators dockside over in DeLand. And I remember the one year, it was a lot of Florida State Seminole fans, and I remember the year that they ended up winning the championship in '96. It was number 1 versus number 2. And Florida ended up losing by 3 points. And then they ended up just absolutely destroying the Seminoles 52-20 in the Sugar Bowl to win their first national championship. But Colton's mom and dad are FSU Seminole fans, because Colton's sister Carissa ended up graduating from Florida State. So, yeah, I was watching the game in hostile territory. And yes, the Gators did win, but man, both of those teams are just absolutely horrendous. Horrendous. I mean, I was glad to see the Gators win. By the way, congratulations to Billy Napier, who is the brand new head coach of the Florida Gators. I know a lot of you guys are probably like, oh, why? He coached at University of Louisiana, Lafayette, or something like that, the Raging Cajuns. And people are like, who? He's from a small school. He's never played in the SEC. Yeah, you know what? The same thing people said about Urban Meyer when he came from Utah. Oh, they don't play a tough enough competition. Well, Urban did win 2 national championships. And I'm not trying to be Jim Rome and talk sports and stuff like that. But, I have a just total admiration for the University of Florida Gators football because of my dad. It's the one thing that we always watch. I wasn't the biggest sports fan growing up, but I got into it because, you know why? I wanted to have a common connection with my father. And then I ended up starting to just absolutely love it. And I'm not trying to depress you guys and stuff, but I was a little upset watching the game because the day of the game was the 6-month anniversary of my dad passing away. And I didn't even know that until my mom had told me. And my mom was over here. She was fine. She was with friends. I spent Thanksgiving with my mom. But I almost wish she wouldn't have told me that, because I don't want you guys to think that I have forgotten about my dad and stuff, because I haven't. But for the Florida State game to be on, and for it to be on the 6-month anniversary of him dying, I don't know. It just was it was a little hard. And I'm not one of those people that take sports over the top. I take it personally and stuff. I was like going into the game, I was like, I really don't even care. I was like, the season's a loss. But it was fun to be able to watch it with them. The way the game ended was absolutely hilarious. But speaking of football, the first story that I want to get into, and I think this is absolutely wrong. We are absolutely coddling our youth. Everybody wants to know why other countries, their youth are ahead of us in all aspects when it comes to education or athletics and stuff, or we're just soft. Because now it's like everybody needs a participation trophy. When I was playing baseball, my dad was our coach, and we used to play this all-star team every single year. It was a travel team. They had been playing together forever. They had great chemistry. I think they ended up winning the state of Florida and going to regionals in the Little League World Series tournament. And we used to get our ass whipped. We would play a scrimmage game every Saturday with them because they were from DeLeon. We were from DeLeon Springs. And we were asking my dad, we were like, why are we playing them? We're losing like 15-0, 10-0, and then it started becoming 8-3, and then maybe 7-4. The game started getting closer and closer until we ended up beating them. And like with any aspect of life, the better competition you go against, the better it makes you. Because you'll see a lot of these sports teams and stuff that are rolling, just say you think they're never going to get beat, and then they ended up playing the worst team, and they played down to the competition. I don't know where this next story is from, but one team, I think it's a youth football like Pop Warner, they are excluded from their playoffs for the championship because they are too good.
Well, controversy in a North Texas Youth Football League after a team with a perfect record is not being allowed in the playoffs. The problem, league officials say they're too good.
I know that I sound like a broken record sometimes, but these stories just keep popping up. But do you guys realize a lot of people forget we evolved from other animals. We are just intelligent animals, and I think we are losing our way as just, we're smarter, but when it comes to survival of the fittest, we're just becoming soft. Like, if all hell broke loose and the government just completely collapsed, America would be in so much trouble. They're too good. That's like telling a pride of lions, the one that's too good at catching everything, guess what? You don't get to eat. You don't get to eat. And what are we teaching kids now? Are we telling them that you should half-ass it at work because you don't want to make your fellow coworkers look bad? You don't want to hurt their feelings? No. Because guess what? Those coworkers of yours, those people that are hungry and trying to get the position that you have, guess what? They're going to do everything they can. And people don't give a damn. If you're too good, you're just good. And the thing is that the other thing that you're teaching these kids is that work ethic does not mean anything. Because I'm sure that these kids just aren't good. All of them are just not great because it's natural. No. They had to put in the time. They had to put in the effort, the blood, sweat, and tears to get where they're at. And now they're being told that they're too good and they're not going to be able to win a championship. It's just ludicrous.
No doubt the 7 and 8-year-olds on the Flower Mound Rebels, there in blue, are having a heck of a season. Grayson Tanner is center.
We haven't lost a single game.
Hell, these 7 and 8-year-olds are like the Miami Dolphins. Did that happen to the 72 Miami Dolphins? The only professional sports team to ever go undefeated? I don't think it's ever going to happen in the NFL. But do you think the commissioner came down and told Don Shula, hey, Don, I know you guys didn't lose a single game during the regular season, but guess what? We're not going to let you play in the playoffs because you're just too good, and it's going to be a open and shut case. No, that's the other thing. Upsets happen all the time. David and Goliath. So are you teaching the kids that maybe aren't undefeated, that suck? Just give up. Give up. Don't even try because those people are too good. That's why I'm saying we are growing up a bunch of soft-ass kids. And I know a lot of you people are probably like, well, Tuddle, you're a nerd. You're into Doctor Who and all this nerdy stuff. You wear glasses. No, you know what? did I get into some uncomfortable situations because of my mom and dad were trying to raise a man? Yes, I am a nerd, but I also know how to do stuff. I can fight. I don't know if I can win, but guess what? I'm not going to give up. I was horrible at radio. And do you think all those other interns and people that were trying to make it in the business, do you think the program director went to them and said, hey, yeah, we're not going to hire you because you're too good. We're going to give it to Tuddle. No, I had to scratch and claw and fight for everything that I got. So even on both sides, you're penalizing the undefeated team because they're too good, because they worked hard. And then you're also telling the losers that, oh, you don't have any chance, so you should just give up.
And they were headed to the playoffs until the Keller Youth Association, which Flower Mound joined last year during COVID, suddenly told them they can no longer compete.
I just was very sad. I feel like we deserve to play in the playoffs.
And that's the thing about it. I feel bad for those kids because you know what? Their parents, they've taught them to be disciplined, to work hard if you want something, and they did it. I know they're only like 7 and 8-year-olds, but guess what? They need that type of stuff. They're going to be ahead of the game because, I was guilty of this. Coming out of high school, I actually thought, oh, this isn't fair. Well, guess what? Life is not fair. Do you know how many radio people, and I'm not even going to talk about the show, that has certain people on it, that I know that I have double the experience, and I'm not trying to act like I have an ego or anything, because I don't. But I just know, I know that I'm good at what I do. I know that I was not when I first started, but guess what? I had to work harder. I had to work harder than everybody else. There's just some people that are just naturally talented at a certain thing, and then there are some people that are just as talented as them, and guess what? They had to work twice as hard to get there. And now what you're telling is, oh, all that hard work we told you to do, all the discipline that you put into this, it meant nothing, because guess what? You're too good and everybody deserves a participation trophy.
This is the Keller League, not the Flower Mound League.
Brett Taylor is league vice president.
The aggregate score of the 7 games they played in is 199 to 6.
And if I'm just being honest, I'm probably sure that that aggregate could have been a lot worse than what it actually was. Because I know, like in youth football and stuff, after a team gets ahead at a certain point, they run a continuous clock. Like if you call a timeout or you get a first down or it goes out of bounds, they stop the clock. No. Once you get ahead at a certain point, they run a continuous clock just to eat up the time. Same thing happened in baseball. I told you that if you get it 10 runs ahead and it's after the 5th inning, you win. Because, and I always thought that was complete BS in the first place. So I'm sure that 196 to 6 aggregate really doesn't show how good this other team was.
And the 6 points was a fluke play. So in my mind, they've dominated our league.
Taylor also is a Keller coach and a father. His team lost to the Rebels 33-0.
All right, completely makes sense. Completely makes sense because for the most part, when it comes to youth sports, the kids, if you just left the kids alone, they don't care. They're just having fun. It is the parents. It's the parents. The parents are embarrassed. They're living vicariously through their children, their sons, and they're like, oh, I don't want to be embarrassed. See, like I said, this is not on the kids. This is on the parents because the parents are embarrassed because I'm sure they probably work with some of the other people that are on the other teams, and they are getting ribbed. And it's all because the other parents are shamed. They're ashamed that their kids aren't as good as the other ones, and it's all just keeping up with the Joneses. It's just the same thing as having the better car than your coworkers or neighbors and stuff like that. You show off your kid like it's a goddamn horse that's racing in the Kentucky Derby for the Triple Crown.
My team got 1 first down all game, and my team is good.
He's a sore loser. That's all it comes down to.
Reagan Montero is Rebels coach.
He's changing the rules so it benefits him.
In a way, this is because they're too good. I mean,
they are too good. I fully admit it. Absolutely. Yeah, they are a select level team. They are too good for a rec level team.
Is it because they're too good, or you guys are just too awful? And you let the kids, you coddle them. You didn't teach them any discipline. These kids are probably just forced into football, don't even want to be there in the first place because their dad probably played like at a community college level or a second division college football team and couldn't make it into the NFL. And they're like, oh, yeah. You know, I ended up watching. That's what's going to end up happening. A lot of people are going to watch that King Richard movie or the Tiger Woods documentary and look at how those fathers demanded excellence from Venus and Serena Williams or Tiger Woods' father. And they're like, oh, yeah, man, this is my winning lottery ticket. And they probably force them in there, and those kids don't even want to be there. They probably hate football. They're just probably doing it to impress their dads, to impress their moms and stuff, and they're not completely in it. They're not sacrificing. But guess who's having the sacrifice? The team that put in the hard work. This is just, I don't know why it infuriates me so much. I would like to hear from you guys. I would love to get your honest opinion on this story. You can give me a call, 407-270-3044, or you can leave me an email, tuddle@gmail.com. That's Tuddle with 2 Ds, TUDDLE @gmail.com.
I don't think we can be too good.
To the Rebels, it's like changing the rules in the middle of the game.
It's not fair that he just kicked us out because we're too good.
All right, so I know that these kids are 7 and 8-year-olds, but if they're saying that they're as good as they are, these kids sound soft as hell. I mean, did you? I think that it's bad because we are too good. I mean, is that the punter? Because I'm telling you right now, I want my linebacker, I want my fullback or running back to be in the game. Be like Tom Brady yelling, "Let's fucking go!"
He wants us to play with us, but he doesn't want us to be good. So I don't really know what that teaches the kids. Hey, try your hardest, but sorry, you won't get the end result that you want.
I mean, I think she summed it up pretty well. Because, look, I've talked about my childhood trauma and stuff. As a kid, you're very, very impressionable. I'm not saying, look, there is a fine balance. Don't be too hard on your kid to the point where you're making them feel bad about themselves. But this is also teaching both sides of the coin when it comes to this whole story. The team that's too good, hey, you can work as hard as you want to, but don't be too good. And then the other team is like, oh, yeah, you're going to play the greatest team, undefeated, the Miami Dolphins of youth football, so you might as well just give up. Well, can we tell them they can't come play with us? Can we take our ball and go home? I mean, the things you're taught as a kid, the experiences you go through, shape you as an adult, and you don't even realize it.
If I let them play in the playoffs in the Super Bowl against Keller teams, I'm going to have problems from the Keller parents.
Ha-ha! Bingo lollipop. It's not about the kids. You just admitted it's about the parents. Where did we go wrong? See, the thing is that a lot of the kids, their parents are probably Gen Xers just like me, in that 40 to 50-year-old range. And it kind of like turns my stomach. It almost makes me ashamed to call myself a Gen Xer. Because Gen Xers, you know what? We were the latchkey kids. We were the forgotten generation. We had to take care of ourselves. We had to walked to the school bus stop. We went to school all day, had to come home, open up the door on our own. That's why they called us latchkey kids. Maybe make ourselves something to eat and do our homework and be responsible because we didn't have parents at home taking care of us because guess where the parents were? Both parents were working because they had to. And it almost, like I said, I'm embarrassed to call myself a Gen Xer.
I want for us to actually just finish our games. That's truly all I want. I'm new to this tackle football and the shotgun.
For these young football players, a sudden end to a winning season and a confusing lesson about what's fair.
I don't want everybody to think like I'm using today's show to get up on my high horse or just be negative and talk bad about the United States of America. But this is also the other thing that's going on. And I'm sure it's going on in other countries as well. But everybody is looking for a reason to be offended. And nobody can deny that. How many stories are we hearing? The Dave Chappelle thing. Everybody wants to be offended. Nobody can voice their true opinion on things. They all are going to get offended. And it's not about being offended. Everybody is looking for payday. Everybody is looking for easy money. And I guarantee you, the woman in this next story, they're probably going to come up with a big class action lawsuit. And I hope that there's no class action lawsuit. But this one woman, who is from Poland, got upset because she bought a educational toy, which was like a dancing cactus that sang songs in 3 different languages. I think one is English, one is Spanish, and the other is Polish.
This is a strange one. The cactus is sold online as an educational toy and sings songs in 3 languages, but one song in Polish talks about doing cocaine, depression, and uses profanities.
I cannot get one of these dancing, singing cactuses fast enough. Even if I don't even know, because there is a certain producer of a certain podcast that has family members that are Polish. And that's the thing about it. Like, the Polish, I haven't met many Polish people, but the Polish people that I've met, my producer Vulture's father-in-law, he's not soft. He is not soft at all. And look, I'm glad that I have stopped drinking and stuff, but man, oh man, I wish I would have gotten to hang out with Vulture's father-in-law back in the day when I was just getting after it drinking, because this guy is a man's man. You want to know why he's a man? Because Poland was the first country invaded by Germany. They are tough. They actually had to fight for survival, and that's a man's man. You wouldn't think that the Polish are manly men, but they are. And even the women are tough and beautiful, which I think is a very, very attractive trait. And this grandma, once again, is just trying to cash in and get paid.
The grandmother who bought it said the toy should not be for sale.
So this is supposed to be a singing cactus.
Anya Tanner of Brampton wanted to buy an educational toy for her granddaughter and found this dancing cactus on Walmart's website, selling for about $26. She ordered it, and when it arrived, she decided to listen to the songs, one in English, Spanish, and Polish.
By the way, that is just a very strange mixture and choice of 3 languages: English, Spanish, and Polish. Now, I can see English and Polish mixing together, but I don't know many people from Mexico and Poland that are going to the pub and having a pint or going to the football match or the NFL games and just being best buds and stuff. So I'm just trying to figure out what whoever created this toy, why did they go with English, Spanish, and Polish? There's a lot. Why not Portuguese? Why not French? Why not German? Well, German, I can see why that. Yeah. Because no matter what you say, a German could be like spitting the most romantic game in the world to a chick that he's trying to hook up with, and it just sounds angry. If you don't speak German, it is the angriest sounding language on the whole entire planet Earth.
It just happens that I'm Polish. And when I started listening to the song and I heard the words, I was in shock. I didn't know, like, what is this? Some kind of joke?
I've talked about this all the time. From all the years of being in radio, I always have a keen ear of drops that would be good for like liners or just funny drops and stuff. And I admit, sometimes I have some stinker jokes and stuff, and I like that drop. What is this? Some kind of joke?
What is this? Some kind of joke?
The song is by Polish rapper Gypsies and has references to cocaine, drug abuse, suicide, and depression.
I'm just being honest. I mean, this singing, dancing cactus sounds like something I could relate to. Cocaine, drugs, depression. Yes, check, and check.
It's about taking 5 grams of cocaine and being alone.
See, old grandma knows all the lingo. Like, she knows about 5 grams of cocaine. I don't know. I mean, I know that there's a lot of white people, a lot of snow. So, I mean, I would not be shocked if they would like to put white stuff up their nose and stuff. Hell, even vodka is clear. I mean, that's even more white than white can be.
Something about he doesn't care. He lost the house already. There's nothing to live for. Very depressing song.
Hey, lady. Hey, grandma. I don't know if you are living in reality and have, like, taken a time out to look around. Shit's depressing right now. Things aren't good. And we don't talk about mental health enough because, once again, we're coddling our kids. We are. Things aren't good right now. And by the way, it's your responsibility to be able to check out for these type of things. And yes, you're Polish, but it being sold here in America, guess what? The kids don't know what's going on. They don't understand Polish. I've heard the language. It sounds cool. Do I know what the hell they're talking about? No, not at all. I just sit there and eat their food at the table when I go over to visit my producer, Vulture.
The Cactus was sold months ago in Europe where other families noticed the lyrics. The Polish artist said he was unaware his song was being used and said he planned to take legal action against the Chinese manufacturer for using his song without permission.
This is a prime example of how much China hates us. They're trying to infiltrate us when it comes to our singing, dancing, educational toy cactuses. They're taking copywritten stuff from a pole, not like a flagpole. I think that's what you call Polish people, Poles. Yeah, this is all out war. This singing cactus might be the little spark that sets off World War III.
Both Gypsies and the manufacturer could not be reached for comment. As for Tanner, she wants a refund from Walmart and feels they shouldn't be selling the toy.
The store is swearing words and talking about cocaine.
I'm going to have a lot of post-production work saving some of all these drops I'm getting from this news story to my archives.
The store is swearing words and talking about cocaine. This is not what I ordered for Jessie.
CTV News reached out to Walmart and a spokesperson told us, these items are sold by a third-party seller on our marketplace website. We are removing the items while we look into this complaint further. That was a relief for Tanner.
I just don't want anybody to, before Christmas, to think, oh, this is a great toy, go online, order it, and have the same thing happen that happened to me.
I would like to get an update, maybe about 6 months, maybe a year, because it takes a while for all these lawyers to get their ducks in a row. But I mark my words, you're going to see a lawsuit. There's going to be a lawsuit. I don't know how many people in the United States actually speaks Polish, but I don't think it's a lot. I mean, what is it going to be, a class action lawsuit of maybe like, I don't know, 500,000 people here in the United States? And like you said, Walmart is just hawking everybody else's stuff because they're trying to keep up with Jeff Bezos and his mafia that's known as Amazon.
And some families may already have the dancing cactus toy, and if you don't speak Polish, you wouldn't know what it was saying.
Thank you. This anchor actually just backed up everything that I was just talking about. Unless you speak Polish or Poland or jibber jabber, you're not going to know what the F this dancing, singing cactus is even talking about. Like I said, you could probably take a cactus to Poland and put it out, and it would look like one of those face grabbers from the Alien movies with Sigourney Weaver. They would think that it was extraterrestrial if you showed a Polish person a cactus.
Complaints go back to July with the toy, so it's unclear why it's still being sold. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
I've never really understood why people have such a problem with panhandlers. Now, I do get it. The overly aggressive panhandlers, I can understand why people do not like that. I will give money to panhandlers that have creative signs. And if you're being honest, like if you have a sign that says, look, just being honest, I want to get a little bottle of Mad Dog 2020 or something, or I just want to get some alcohol, you know what? If I get some extra change, I'll give it to you. I have no problem. Because guess what? You're being honest. Now, the panhandlers I don't like are the ones that come up as like, hey, man, I don't have any Pampers for my baby, da-da-da-da-da. And I'll be like, okay, well, do you need Pampers? I'll go into the store and I'll buy it. No, man. Just give me the money. I'll get it. Or they'll do this. Hey, I ran out of gas. My wife and kids are in the car. And they'll have a gas can on them. And I'll be like, hey, yeah, you got a couple of bucks for gas? Me and my wife and kids, we're broke down. Can you just give me? And I'll be like, all right, I got a gas can in the back of the truck. I'll fill it up and I'll follow you, or I'll give you a ride down there to fill it up. And guess what? No, I'm good, man. I don't want to bother you. I'll just take the money. No, it's just not happening. But, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, you know, if these panhandlers put as much time into begging for money, they could make it anywhere. Well, maybe there's some truth to that. But when it comes to panhandlers that are creative, that are actually putting on a show and maybe entertaining people, I absolutely have no issue with it at all.
The music starts just as the parking lot gets busy. A beautiful tune cutting through the chaos in the shopping center. Pinellas Park Police say it's all an act designed to tug on your heartstrings.
They stand outside stores and businesses as if they're playing the violin, and they solicit donations from people as they're coming in and out of stores.
I don't know if you guys caught that, but did you hear the little word he said? As if they're playing the violin. So what's happening is that they do have an actual violin, but they're acting like they're playing it, and the music is just from a CD. I don't understand what crime has been committed here. Because I know that I watched the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and if you think any of those people that are singing during the parade out in front of Macy's, you are an idiot. You are a plain and simple idiot. You know, a lot of musicians on stage that people play or pay good money to go and see. I'm not talking about rock bands, the ones that are playing instruments and stuff. I'm talking about pop stars. NSYNC, Backstreet, 98 Degrees, O-Town. Those guys all lip sync. And guess what people were doing? They could not give Live Nation or Ticketmaster money fast enough to be able to go see those people. But no, we're gonna take up police time and money, which is getting paid by taxpayers, to keep these people from making any money. What are they doing against the law? Seriously. And this is also on the news stories. Like, why are you even covering this story? Because guess what? It's different. It's weird. we don't want people to get, taken for their money. No, guess what? They're not robbing people. They're not pulling out a knife. They don't have a gun. They're, like I said, if people are dumb enough to give money to those people, guess what? They are suckers. They are marks. You guys don't go after the carnies at the Volusia County Fair or any of these fairs or carnivals that most of the people that are putting together rides are all methed out, coked out, heroin, ecstasy, name a drug, pick it. Those are the people that are putting together carnival rides and the rigged games that you can never win. And even if you do win and you get a big bear that you think, oh my God, must have been expensive. No, they probably got it for $2. I'm just being honest, people.
He says there's usually a sign asking for money to help buy food, pay rent, or take care of their family. Sometimes a woman or children are standing nearby as the musician plays along with an instrumental track. According to investigators, that story is usually a sham.
I don't know. I mean, as far as I know, I'm no lawyer, but I think this kind of fits under the First Amendment. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression, to be able to do what you want to. Like, you can hold out a sign asking for money all day long. And now everybody's making a big deal because these people are not actually playing the violin, when there are a lot of people that perform live and they lip sync. Back to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. None of those people are singing live. So what? Are we going to do a news story about how they're trying to bilk people out of money or try to cheat them out of their hard-earned money? No, because guess what? Everybody sits there in front of the TV. All the marks go out there and stand in front of Macy's and watch everything come by. No, those people aren't getting in trouble. It's the same exact thing.
And most of the time, not even the serenade is sincere. The performer is actually finger syncing to the music.
They will stand there and act as if they are playing the violin, but they are not actually playing it. The second we pull up, they drop the violin, but the music is still playing through the speaker.
It's not illegal to perform in public for tips or to mime playing an instrument.
All right, so why the hell is this even a story? Why is the sheriff's office even talking about this? You guys just shot yourself in the foot. Both the media and the law enforcement. This is not against the law. So what is the problem? It seems like you guys are trying to stop somebody from making money legally. What would you rather do? What would you rather have, Mr. Media and Mr. Law Enforcement? Would you rather them fake play the violin or go out there and rob people, break into their homes, carjackings, whatever it may? I could go on and on and on about all the crimes that they could be committing instead of fake playing a violin. God damn it.
But officials say what these buskers are doing is a hustle.
They are just traveling through the southeastern United States, stopping in different places.
Similar cons have been reported all across the country. Police believe the fake musicians are part of an organized group, making lots of money by playing with your emotions.
Almost sounds like what organized religion does. They didn't care about y'all's health back in the day. You know what? They cared about, oh my God, people aren't coming to church. They're not putting money in the collection plate. I would rather give this fake-ass violining bitch $20 than I would rather put that $20. You know what? I'll even go as far as say I'd rather give $100 to this fake violin, fiddle, fake-ass bitch than give it to any part of organized religion. Because guess what? God's not real. We're just floating on a big rock that's rotating around a sun, and that sun's rotating around the center of the Milky Way galaxy. Yes. Nobody wants to go after the churches, and they're just as fake as this gypsy playing the violin.
And they want you to be wary.
There's many other places that you can give that hard-earned money of yours to that it's going to actually go for what it's intended for.
So you're talking about the charities that have CEOs that are making six figures and they're trying to help out people? No. All these charities are just as crooked as these gypsies that are playing the violin out of a beat-up old 1980 Dodge Omni. Let them be. Let him be, just to quote the Beatles.
As opposed to somebody fooling you with what they're asking the money for.
Catherine Hawley, Fox 13 News.
I would like to hear from you guys. Do you agree with the opinions that I laid out on today's show? Couple of ways you can get a hold of me. Email me, Tuddle@gmail.com. That's Tuddle with two D's, Tuddle @gmail.com. Or leave me a voicemail, 407-270-3044. And don't forget, subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Tuddle. Hope you guys are safe. Hope you guys enjoyed today's show. And I will talk to you tomorrow.
And that's the show for today. Thanks for listening to the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Hey, don't be a dickhead. Do us a favor. Like, share, and subscribe to the show. Also, check out the Tuddle category at 315live.com. The Tuddle Daily Podcast is brought to you by Starfire Transport, StitchYouUp.com, and PocketPairClub.com. Special thanks to show producer Vulture and co-host Sirach. Show voiceover services brought to you by jcvoiceover.com and The Little Cheese Show. Download and subscribe to The Little Cheese Show everywhere podcasts are found. If you want to help support the show, go to paypal.me/TuddleOnTheRadio. You have something you want to say? Tuddle@gmail.com or leave a voicemail at 407-270-3044. To follow all Tuddle social media, go to Tuddle.net. That's Tuddle with two D's.net. Thanks again for all your support, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Tuddle Daily Podcast.
I get ignorant in normal situations.
What you mean?
What the fuck you mean?
What are you talking about?
Nigga, what the fuck is you talking about?
Oh, shit!